What's going on, Out the Way family? It's your guy, Lush, back to Out the Way Profits reactions. Today we're going to be reacting to Stephen A. Smith. He had a little altercation with LeBron James. LeBron told him keep his son's name out of his mouth, basically. That's the kind of way of saying it, but that's definitely not what he said. Stephen A. is known for, having polarizing opinions about different type of athletes, NBA players, and whatnot. So, he's successful. He is truthful to a certain point, and he has his own opinion. So at least he stands on what he says and doesn't back away, right? So without further ado, let's hit this up. It's on Gilbert Arena's channel, Gill's Arena. They have good videos on there as well. I like watching their stuff. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll be back with more videos all the time. Without further ado, let's jump in and see what they got to say.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak.
Whoa.
I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter. Apparently, Braun had walked out of the timeout, and I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, "Yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Nah, fuck that." I said, "Yo, let's talk later."
Oh.
He's like, "Fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You got to stop fucking with my son." And I said, "All right, though." And he walked off.
Okay, were man's down in the game or what? Like, because LeBron's not that type of guy. Usually he's level headed. I get it, he's a pops though, right? Don't mess with man's son, you might get knocked out. But yeah, like that's so random. Like third quarter, he sees Stephen A and just crashes out. Like, well, he didn't crash out because if LeBron crashed out, Stephen A be probably knocked out, right? But yeah, like I don't know, man. That's kind of questionable. Like, obviously all jokes aside, they probably were losing though. But the Lakers been balling lately. Unfortunately, I have to watch them. All right, let's see. Let him keep going. Let him keep going with the story.
So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit. It hit him, and he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up. And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you got to talk about it. This is you and him. You got to talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I said, the first thing that I'm going to do is establish that this was a father talking to me, not a player. And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said that to me, then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this shit, which I'll get to in a second. But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere. Watch, I be right. It's a nationally televised game. The cameras are rolling, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Now, We can sit up here in front all we want to and act like we don't work for somebody. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I
You
had
work for
gotten
Walt.
into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong.
That's
And I
right.
was like, I'm not going to do this. But once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed because that was confirmation. Now let's get to the father thing. And I'm so glad y'all asked me about this shit because all I would ask is that I've been around for 30 years. Tell me the parent that said they heard me talking about it. I've never done it. What happened was this man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said,
Okay, he going to do his little rant for a little bit, so I just want to interject right here. But part way, Stephen A is right with that. LeBron did kind of force Bronny into the league. I'm not saying he's not good enough to be in there. Like 100%, he works. He hustles. He's in the G League. He's putting up numbers. When he first got in, like he got in on that type of merit, right? So there's not much you can say when it comes to that. End of the day, I think LeBronny's gonna become a better player just by hooping in the NBA. He's been around NBA players his whole life, right? Because his dad's LeBron James. But he did still get in because LeBron did force his way through. So that's my opinion on it. Let's let it keep going.
he's better than some of the NBA players are right now
Agreed.
when he was in high school.
He is better than him.
If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. He goes to USC. He got the heart ailment. I'm like, thank God he's okay. He gonna be all right. But I'm not gonna go see him at USC, just like I didn't go see him at Sierra Canyon because, like, I ain't see Melo's son. I heard your son is all world. I ain't see him. Your son, I never saw these guys until they came pro because I know. No, it's not that. Okay. I know that because of who I am and what I've established for myself in this industry, if I walk into an arena, everybody is looking for me to critique that person. And I don't want to do that because they want to come up. I'm not covering college. I'm covering pro.
And they kids.
Huh? Yeah. And they can't. Well, I'm saying it, but if I was a college reporter, then I would have had to. But I wasn't. So why am I gonna be there? I didn't want to put that extra pressure. So I never went. I went on national television and announced to the world, I'm not going to see him. He goes to USC. I'm not going to see him. It's too much. It's too much. And then now he's got to overcome this heart ailment.
Yeah, like all those points are valid. Like these guys are kids. Like everyone forgets these guys are kids because they're famous, and they're only famous because of their parents, and obviously the skills they brought to what they're doing. Right? They're like Gilbert Arenas' son is amazing in basketball. Bronny was amazing in basketball. Like if Stephen A goes there, then it just turns into him needing to say something about them, right? Versus like they could just grow on their own, build their own brand, build their own thing, get in on their own merit, and then he could critique them at the highest level, right? So I hear what he's saying on that. Let's let him keep going.
So I can't judge him. But then they said, oh, he going pro.
He going
So then
pro.
once you say he's going pro, okay, you're talking to the scouts and the evaluators and everybody else. Yo, man, this is them. He'll be lucky to be a second round pick. He'll be lucky. He ain't ready, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I ain't seen him, y'all. I haven't seen him. Then all of a sudden, Rich Paul and others at Clutch. And then the story headlines follow. Boston might be interested. Golden State might be interested. Phoenix might be interested. Clippers might be. You start hearing all of this, and you're like, all right, this could be true, or this could be them wielding their magic to make it look such a way. I say nothing. He gets drafted by the Lakers, which everybody knew was going to happen because, the skids were greased, and he gets drafted. I still say nothing. He goes into the pro. It's opening night. Now remember, most cats talk about the league. I cover it. What I mean by that is that you can give your opinion. You might not be on the phone with the commissioner. You might not be on the phone with the executive VP. You might not be on the phone with other people that work in these offices. I am. So because of that, I'm hearing all of this. Yeah, we just gonna go along with it. Open the night, I'm talking about. Open the night. And we just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Jeannie Buss, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. I still say nothing. I'm cool. I'm at crypto.com arena. I'm one of those cats standing there.
Staples Center.
Ken Griffey, Steve Griff, Senior and Junior, who all stars, Hall of Famer, and Ken Griffey Jr. They got them there. And again, I've been covering it for 30 years, not NBA, sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. But I'm still. I'm still like this. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, let's have this moment because LeBron deserves it. The brother, I got him number 2 all time behind Jordan, right? He's done so much for the league. He's generated so much money. I want to hear about Bronny and the $8 million. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron underpaid. Shit, that's $8 million he should have had in his pocket. It's no big deal to me. But the one thing I did say was that one game right there is the moment. Now you got to go to the G League and earn your stripes. Instead, he's playing and playing and playing, and I'm getting stats. And he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter, and Tyrese and them gave it to him.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, Bronny did get cooked for a bit, but I think part of it was that heart condition situation he had. Like if he didn't have, it kind of slowed him down. I think he stopped caring. I don't think he stopped caring about basketball because he obviously loves basketball. But it's like I don't know if you almost lose your life, like life altering moments, right? The basketball does matter, but it doesn't, right? Like he's already had money. Like his dad's a billionaire. His dad's LeBron James. Like you're not doing this for money. You're doing this for love at that point, right? So I think it was one of those, and then you're on the court. You're probably questioning like if I go too hard, maybe I drop out or something. Right? He's healthy. He was super healthy. Dude plays sports every day. Looks in great shape. Could jump out the gym. Right? So yeah, I don't know. I just think maybe he was in his head because a lot of basketball is mental. Right? So he already had the skill. So maybe that's what it was. Like because he did start off flat. Like Tyrese Maxey did give it to him. I seen the highlights. I never really saw him playing confident in the NBA. And then now he's in the G. When he went to the G League and he started getting that momentum, now we're starting to see flashes of him. Okay, like he can be an NBA. Okay, like he is gonna drop 30. Oh, he could drop 30. His jumper is looking right. Like so I think he just had that. It's that mental side of it. But end of the day, like LeBron was right for Paige and Stephen A. Because Stephen A. needs to keep his son's name on his mouth to a certain extent. But at the same time, Stephen A. is a reporter and that's his job. So it's like you can't sign your kid up for that line of business and try to shield him from what comes with it, right? Like LeBron didn't even get shielded from it. Like LeBron is the greatest player of all time, in my opinion, and they hated on him for how long, right? So you're obviously your son's gonna get some smoke, right? But let's let him keep going.
And then they plaster on Sports Center 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn, why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job? If now you put me in a position where
Yikes.
because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how do all of that's happening? But Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say. I can't get away with it no more. So I go on the air and I say the same thing I said over the summer. Yo, LeBron, if we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's going to be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't. D-Wade, Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them.
Yikes, they didn't.
The only one. And I said, yo, that's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they're going to come for him. And how many times over the years, to get to your point, in terms of what you asked me about what you expect from me, Stephen A., blah, blah, how many find the brothers in the industry that will tell you, I did not give them a lookout. I go up to them all the time. Yo, come here. I'm not going to be able to help you if you get to this point. You need to stop this shit right now because it's coming. It's coming. That, to me, is where I reach back and I pay back by giving cats the heads up of the minefields because I've been here for 30 years.
Yeah, but like end of the day, you could give him a heads up, but you're still being like, "Hey, listen, bro, I have to talk about you because you're doing this. I'm just letting you know tomorrow, man. I have to talk about you." That's still it's a heads up, but it's still slimy end of the day. But it's still your job. I get it. Like I'm at least you're telling them, but man, I don't know. I just think personally, LeBron did force Bronny in the league by marketing with the dad stuff. He did. Bronny wasn't ready for the NBA. He wasn't ready. And it wasn't I'm not gonna say it wasn't because he wasn't training, but it was also because of, you know what happened with the heart condition. So it's like LeBron Loki should have took a step back, let him like do his thing in USC maybe for a year or something, and then jump him in, right? But end of the day, he was going to the league regardless, right? So I don't know, but that's my opinion. Let's let him keep going.
I lost my job. They thought my career was over. I've been through all of this shit, all of it. And I'm like, yo, I know where the minefields lie. And I'm telling you what's coming. And then this shit go down and everybody act like I never said none of this. I'm like, I said, this fucked up. Because if you go, it's all on tape. If you go back, I gave the heads up.
That's too easy for people to do. That's too easy for people to do.
Right. So we shouldn't uplift our kids. Like we can't.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You said what?
We can't uplift our kids. We can't say he's better than some of the players.
You gotta be truthful.
What you mean true? It's my son.
I think your son suck.
Regardless or not. I don't give a fuck. But it's my son.
Your son suck. He suck.
No.
Yes.
No. But
not in his heart. No, yeah, I understand. You can be that dad, but you made it to the high. You're not trying to live, but you're not trying to live vicariously. You're not trying to.
He don't suck.
You're not trying to live vicariously through your
something that y'all seeing now, and I've seen it. So
I'm not saying Bronny suck, but I'm just saying.
But you just
you honest. You honest. Yes, you can be that. Listen. I coach little league rec girls basketball. Right? Trust me when I tell you, some of them parents being there cheering they fucking heart out for their child.
Yeah, you supposed to. Shit, it's my child.
You see that product? They ain't got nobody athletic in their family tree.
Whoa, man.
Listen, they're looking for an anomaly.
Yikes! He didn't have to do it like that, but I know what you're saying. You're just being realistic. Like end of the day, like some people aren't supposed to go to the highest level in athleticism, man. Like they're just not supposed to, and I just think like some of these parents need to let it go, man. Like Bronny's a different example because, like I said, Bronny he was doing good, and then he almost died, right? He could have never made it out. Like we could have never been talking about this guy. At least he even came back and was able to go to NBA. But I just think LeBron went too hard, trying to push Bronny to get to something because maybe he thought he was gonna retire or something too, right? He's like, I want to be in the NBA with my kids. So yeah, but I don't think Kenyon's wrong about this. Let's let him keep going. Nick, I hear you, Nick, but Kenyon's not wrong. You got to be truthful. Let's let him keep going.
They ain't got athletic bone in their body. They ain't got athletic bone in their family tree. And they got their child out here, and they out in them motherfucker with signs and shit.
Right.
Go get them.
Go get him.
I'm saying this all.
Your child need a help.
Saying my child is better than some of the players in the NBA.
You don't mean that. Wait, don't you coach your son on the girl? No. This boy,
No, I thought. He disrespect me.
No, I thought.
No, they ain't gonna do this in front of Steve. Stephen A. This is not.
No, I
We got
thought-
company. We got company.
Don't y'all play in the same league? I got a 6-year-old son.
Yeah, my
He got
son,
a
nice
son.
and five. Nice.
Oh, I got a fool. I thought you was coach ass boy.
But the other part that I would bring to you, Swag, is this.
That's all I'm saying.
Because you played in the NBA, it ain't just about how you feel. It's about how you know what's coming.
And then I got another.
And so now, as a parent, you got an obligation to protect from what's coming.
To your point, right? I used to tell KJ all the time. Internally, I see it. You have what it takes to play in the NBA, right? All you got to do is keep getting better,
Right?
right? This is my whole message, right? Keep getting better,
Right?
And I'm pretty sure Bron is telling Bronny the same thing, but it was interrupted. Not saying that he can't get there, that he would never get there.
I think
but it was interrupted.
Jules.
And they pivoted in a way that we all took pause in it, right? We're like, but that's their family, that's their decision.
Right.
So we all gonna sit back and whatever comes with it, comes with it. And we the same, I'm the same when I sit on this couch and say, we're gonna treat him as the 55th pick, right? My son was the 52nd pick. I fucking get it, right? It worked out for KJ in year 5. He listened, he got better, he did things, it was a decent situation to play. It just, right? It's just unfortunate my name ain't to that. Where everything that KJ has done, everything that he's doing is being critiqued.
But it's help,
right? It's help.
Because you were a rough rider. Everybody know you could defend your ass off.
Yeah, Kenyon was a G. We love Kenyon Martin, man. He was solid.
You know what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna be
Denver's finest.
playing alongside you. You wasn't having it. No one disrespects your son.
They scared of him.
But it's not. But no, it's not. It's not about being scared of him. No. It's his makeup.
He's a bully.
No, it's his makeup. Yeah, he was.
If you don't tell him, he's gonna make sure you tell him.
He was a bully.
Tell him.
But what I'm saying is, he was. So he comes into the league, but it's not just about respect for him as a player. It's respect for how he handled his son coming into the league. Listen. You talk. I had to ask you about your son the other day. I've been hearing about his son for a while. I had to ask him about him. You understand what I'm saying? You got to ask. I mean, Melo. Listen to Melo talk about how he had to step back. You know, he was desperate for his son to go to Syracuse, but he didn't want to influence him. You said Melo never talked about his son like that. You had to ask him. And so you see a lot of this stuff happen, and then you see this.
Yeah, again, you can't force your kids to be like they're your kids. You could have a destiny for them, right? End of the day, right? You have this dream of, okay, when I have a son, he's gonna be doing this. I'm gonna put him in this. Like I like martial arts. Oh, put my kids in martial arts. They're gonna do this, and they're gonna like it. And it's like, yeah, they're probably gonna like it, but maybe they want to go their own route, right? So it's like, end of the day, you can't force them to be something. But like these kids did want to be basketball players. They saw their parents do it. They're around the game, right? Which is usually what happens. You bring your kids around something positive that you have a love for, they're gonna want to do it. But like you can't overboard try to force them to get in with your name. And a lot look, Carmelo Anthony, greatest scorer, one of the greatest scorers of all time. He got blackballed from the league. That's a long story. We could hit another video for that. But the whole point is he never forced his son to go to Syracuse where he wanted to. His son wanted to go there. You know what I mean? Because he saw the greatness, he saw the coaches on, and then he wanted to help with the legacy. He actually appreciated what his dad did, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I just think Stephen A. is right about all that. What he's going in on about. You got to know the channels on how to make your kids elevate and help them get better and grow into their own people instead of just trying to give them a shadow version of yourself. But let's let them keep going.
And I'm like, so as a media member, now this is the part y'all may not take into consideration. You don't have to care, but we do. If I don't say nothing, wait a minute now. I would have said something about somebody else. I'd have said something before.
Okay.
How long am I supposed to go?
He's right about
doing
that.
My job. The brother is in the NBA. He is wearing a Lakers uniform. So it's like, wait a minute here. You got to a point where it left you no choice. So then all you can do is speak respectfully, but honestly. And then everybody was caught up in as a father, as a father, as a father. And I'm like, come on, man.
Steve,
Come on,
like
man.
that, Steve, it's just, this how simple it goes. It goes this simple.
Please.
You've always been stand-up Steve. So whenever it's a situation that we looking to Steve to stand up and they're trying to take that away from you, you got to look at it. From my perspective, I'm like, I'm always the one that's going to say something. Right? And I'm going to be always the one that's the hater. Because what I'm saying is in opposition to what everyone either believes or has been told.
Okay.
So I've always taken the Stephen A. Smith seat.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. Yeah, I said it. I know some of y'all feel that way.
Nah, he a hater,
and I
though.
know
This guy a
some of
hater.
y'all watching what I'm watching. But it's not a critique. It's just what I'm seeing. It's an observation.
Somebody want to play with their brother like that. The asses.
Yes,
Who did?
Who did? You wasn't on the show then.
They got criticized, bro.
I said he was taking up a goddamn roster spot.
Want to play with somebody you.
Nick Young wrong about this one. They ran that guy through the ringer. Thanasis, Giannis's brother. Like he's just on the team because he's Giannis's brother. I've seen a lot, and I don't even go too heavy into looking into all that. It just comes to me, right? So if it just comes to me, then it definitely was out there. But Nick, you got chill. They came for homie.
When J.R. Smith and Chris Smith,
J.R. Smith,
he got criticized for that. Yes.
They're not in the media like every day like Bobby is.
Well, but their dad isn't LeBron James. He's not in the GOAT debate. That's the point.
In a couple ways. Hold on. Giannis is a bad example. Giannis is a bad example. He's a superstar. He comes over to America, and they were talking about how he was alone and he's not comfortable because he's not trusted. So you got that man there to keep him comfortable. Wait a minute, he's worth it because you ain't going to the 12th man on the bench any damn way. So stop that. Now to get to your point, you're right, except for one thing. I haven't always spoken first. There's plenty of times in my career where I've laid back and I haven't said anything and I've waited. It's just that when I spoke,
that's what I'm saying.
That it resonates.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You holding back.
It's not always first.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it and everybody knew it was supposed to come out and you were supposed to say it, right? So you holding that Bronny information, you holding on to it, knowing we all saying it, right? And we waiting on stand-up Steve to say it because
Stand-up Steve.
Validate it. Right. It's like if Steve said it, we know it's boom.
Yeah, but in that situation,
I don't know if he said anything.
I didn't.
No, he's the only foreigner that needed somebody next to him.
No, I said it.
No.
I said
he's the only foreigner that needed help.
He's the only forward with a brother that damn good. How about that?
What's his name?
Okay. Everybody in Giannis. Everybody in Giannis.
Joker Bergman should be on the bench with him.
Like I get both.
They are on the bench.
Like Giannis was in the league before Giannis taking up the roster spot.
Right. Yeah, agree.
He was in the league before Giannis.
But you're not wrong with what you're saying. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that it depends on the story. Everything isn't meant to be put on Front Street day one. Sometimes you wait.
Facts.
Because sometimes the story is more potent when you wait, as opposed to you being just get it out there first. Nah. Sometimes you want to wait and see. You can do that. You get to make that decision as a media member, as long as you're honest about it.
Let me ask you this then. Is the timing right now as potent as it is? Is it bubbled up at the right time now?
Well, he made it that way.
For everybody. For the league, for Steve, you just signed your deal. That happened. The league is just got Luka. They just turned the viewership coin. Everything has turned due to all of these interactions.
I'm still saying it still depends on the story. It depends on how much of something is resonating and how much is percolating. If the shit's percolating, damn right you touch on it. If it ain't that big of a deal in people's eyes, then you might wait. But he made it what it is. When he rolled up on me courtside.
Okay, isn't it weak though? Yeah. Like when you think about it, you know he wasn't ready, right? As a father, you're still a father to your son. You're still trying to praise them and make them feel like they're worthy of playing basketball because they can get discouraged at any moment in time, right? So I'm pretty sure every game he's over the line, you got it, don't worry about it, just go out there and play the game. That's that part of it. The NBA part knows he's not ready yet, right? But as the father part, him sitting there nervous and shit, you're like, no, hey, relax. You're going to go out there and play. At what point, when he gets drafted 55, do you supposed to sit back and be like, all right, there's nothing to talk about here. He's 55. He wasn't 17. He wasn't a first round. His draft status actually let you know what he was.
But what I'm saying to you,
He's a
Okay, like, yeah, Gilbert is partially right. Like, I think he's right about that. Like, LeBron went number one, man. Number one draft pick, came out of high school, and he was ready, and he was leading. He brought that scrub team to the finals eventually, like that Cavaliers team. They got swept, but end of the day, even to get to the finals, there's grown men on other teams couldn't even get to the finals, and LeBron was doing that so young. So Gilbert is right. Like, you can't set your kids up for complete and utter failure. Like, it's one thing to be like, all right, bro, you're not ready. Like, and then help them get to the next level, right? Like even LeVar, like everyone was hating on LeVar, but LaMelo wasn't ready to go to the NBA. He brought him to the EuroLeague. You know what I'm saying? And then he got him ready to go to the NBA. They said, "Oh, he has to play college." He's like, "No, my boy's going over here." And look at LaMelo. He's thriving in the NBA. He does get hurt sometimes. He was on the fantasy team. He do everything for me on the fantasy when he's healthy. But yeah, so I don't know. Gilbert has a good point on that. Let's let Stephen A. keep going.
he's
that very,
at the back bottom.
that very draft status that you pointed to, all of us would have that attitude if his pops had it done what he did. So what I'm saying is that because of what he did publicly, we had no choice but to ultimately address it. And as a 55th, all he had to do is this: listen, I got this moment with my son. All right, now it's time to go to the G League and do what you're doing, and we'll see you next year.
Or let the draft happen organically, and if somebody's going to draft him, let them draft. Like you never know, just for shits and giggles, right? What if somebody at 44 wanted to? No, I'm just for shits and giggles. No, I get right. But somebody at 44 wanted to pick him, right? Yes. So you gonna stop? Yes.
Because he wants to play with his kid. He don't want to see his kid.
He don't want to see his kid in the NBA.
Okay. He wants to play on the same team.
I think we're
that's way different. That's way different.
And here's why. My son could have died. Yes. I've been in the league 21 years, right? So what is the dream? Hold on. I've been in the league 21 years. What is Bronny's dream? I've been to be in the NBA. Okay. I've been in the league 21 years. I missed 19 to 20 years of his life. You know how we are as parents. We're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. My firstborn with my name almost passed. Yeah. And you're telling me that I'm gonna keep playing this league to miss this? Fuck no. This is gonna be the first time in my career where I get 360 fucking 5 days with my son. But you don't.
That's real life, man. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, Bronny almost died for real. Like, he was 20 years old. Like, what? He wasn't even 20. I think he was like 19 or 18, right? Or something. 19, 18, or 17, right? You gotta look it up. But, like, that's all it takes, right? So, and he's healthy. It wasn't like he had no problems. They're thinking maybe it was the COVID vaccine. It's all speculation. But that's the whole point. LeBron probably just said, F this shit. He's on my team. I don't care what you guys think. He's on my team. He's going 55. Doesn't matter because he's gonna be nice later on, right? So that's how he's thinking. But let's let it keep going.
I'm not letting someone else draft him. I want him near me.
What about
because
Bryce?
of what happened?
Are you gonna do it to Bryce too?
Huh? But you don't get every day. I do get every day. If he's on his team, I get every day. But he's not. He plays. I get more than I did for the last whatever. He plays on the G. He gets to come home to me though. He lives by. But I'm saying he gets to come home to me. He's a pro. Are you not? Are you understanding? He's a professional. I heard everything that you're saying. Once something happens, everything that you're saying is true, Gil. Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100% factual. I hear you. Yes. But what is Bronny's dream? Bronny's dream was to be in the NBA. Bronny's dream was this. I don't give a fuck where I get drafted. I just want to hear my name. So why not? So therefore, what I'm saying is that was his dream. Let that happen organically. As a father, I don't want it to happen organically on your draft. Hold on, Gil. I wanted to happen on my draft. Hold on, Swag. So you don't think it meant something for me to hear? Listen, I told y'all sitting in this motherfucker, I was a bigger rat on KJ's draft day than he fucking was. Mm-hmm. Right. Right? For sure. You should be. A bigger rat, I'm trying to stay away from him. Mm-hmm. Right. Because I don't want him to fix this shit. Right. Right? So yeah, I wanted more than he fucking wanted. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's his dream and his journey is what I'm saying. Who cried? Happy for him. I did.
No. Who cried when Bronny got drafted?
I didn't watch.
They said it was Bronny. I thought I saw him crying.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he did.
His only dream was to hear his name
called. Yes, I'm with you. I'm saying yes, Gil. Yes, absolutely. Hear his name called for any fucking team.
Right.
For any team. Right.
Right.
No,
but here's what he's saying. He said any team, right? Which means that when we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate. So what I'm saying is, when you, because of the reasons you pointed out. So what I'm saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, this is all he had to say. Because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me. I said, Rich Paul, I only asked for grace on one point. If you had called me and said, Ron, pissed off, motherfucker mad as hell, he wants to see you man to man. I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone, you'd have flew to LA. I said, thank you. So my point is, rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to stay. Don't leave this game. I need you to see you after the game. That's all he had to say to me. Then as we speak, he says that. Let's take an example. He said what you just said. I stand down. My bad. And not only that, I'm going to make sure I go on the air. I ain't looking at it that way. That's on me. You didn't do that shit. You said you fucking with my son. Oh, was it? Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. Wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. Woo. I believe that he got potential. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential to go pro. I truly believe that. It's going to be tough, but I think he can pull it off. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody. But I'm talking about your ass. You did this. You the one that had us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise. All of us got to sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your shit.
Come on now.
You did that. And so when I see people talking, and I'm like,
yeah, he's not having it.
Oh my God, can somebody?
He's letting it out.
I mean, I know I got a show, and I know I got my podcast, but I'm like, God damn, y'all, I'm fair. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's you. It don't matter who it is. Damn it, I'm just meeting you.
Yeah, like Stephen A is pretty fair, like all around the board. He does criticize like everybody kind of openly. Like he doesn't really just pick on one person. But it was LeBron. LeBron did put too much pressure on Bronny. Dwayne Wade didn't put no pressure on his kid. Melo didn't put no pressure on his kid. Like LeVar put more pressure on. LeVar had pressure on his kid like LeBron level, like kind of like to a certain extent. Like obviously LeVar was next level, but I don't know. I just think LeBron, you got to wake up and realize this is only on Bronny because of you. It's not because of anyone else, and that's okay. I think Bronny will be able to level up to the pressure, but you can see with Bryce, his other son's not getting that same level of pressure, and that's why I think he's playing better. Like it's not because he's better than Bronny, like but I think he might get better in Bronny. Well, that's another thing. Like he's kind of in the back. He's behind the scenes. Like So, well, yeah, let's let it keep going.
Somebody unfair to you, I'm gonna be like, that's not fair. That's not fair. But when it comes to me, everybody get crickets. That motherfucker Stephen A. on his own. That, respectfully, excuse my language, that's fucked up. I'm on my own. When number one, we know I'm right. Number two, we know the perspective that I'm coming from is real and it's authentic. Number three, he set this up. Number four, all you had to do was tell me. Listen, Kenyon told me, you keep talking about bringing this up for all fun. He talked about how he approached me in Puerto Rico. I swear to God, I don't remember. I swear to God. Probably. But I know this much.
But you do.
And let me say what I did. I was writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer. This is from 1993 to 2010. Shit, I said, what the fuck he talking about? I called Philadelphia Inquirer. I called my research. Look up the archive. I want every goddamn article I wrote about Kenyon Martin. I don't know what he's talking about, right? Because I'm looking at articles. I said, I knew that brother was a stud. I knew that brother deserved his money. What the Nets? Where the Nets go? Nets ain't going to fucking back-to-back finals without you. I'm like, I know. What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for the shit And I found some shit where you got it was some shit with Byron Scott or whatever. But I don't know. But I'll take your word for it. My point is, Kenyon Mark would talk about, I rolled up on Stephen A. I'm like, he ain't the only one. There's plenty of motherfuckers that rolled up on me. Glenn Robinson and I mean, butt heads because I thought he got Randy Ayers fired. I couldn't stand his ass. Let me tell you. I mean, it got to a point where motherfuckers like just walk in between us because it was just hostility. I couldn't stand his ass. And then I was in Houston and I saw Glenn Robinson III. And he saw me and he put his head down and he walked by me. I felt like such shit. I stopped him in the hallways of a Houston Rockets game. And I said, come here, man. Whatever's going on between me and your father, it's my fault. And when I see him, I'm going to apologize. Because for him to look like that, we done took this shit too far. There's no reason for it. I just thought that you showed Randy Ayers the same grace as you show Larry Brown or some shit. That's all it was. But for it to get like that, I didn't mean for that to happen. So I instantly told him, whatever it is going on between you and me and your father, it's my fault. Your father's fine. I'm the journalist. I'm supposed to know better. That's my fault. That's on me. Shit like that could happen with somebody like LeBron. But LeBron up here, and he know he up here. He don't give a fuck. The problem is when it comes to the media, God damn it, I'm up here. You understand? And as a result, you can sit up there, you can make some noise and make a scene and do whatever it is that you do. But you see, I got 10 hours of airwaves a week live. And I got my podcast. And I got other outlets. And y'all don't even know what the fuck is coming down the pike in terms of opportunities I got coming my way. I'm just getting started.
As soon as it turned his
not
back.
at all. No, not necessarily. It's like,
Yeah, like Stephen A. does got a lot of pull when it comes to sports journalism, media, and his voice and stuff. Like, so he's right, but like, and LeBron James is known mainly just for basketball. Like, he is a philanthropist and stuff, great dad and all that. But it's like he's mainly known just for basketball. So, like, Stephen A. is known for like talking about all sports. So, and he's been doing it for long, right? So I hear what he's saying. Like, so I don't know. Let's let him keep going.
yo,
Question for you. Question for you.
This is what it is.
Serious question.
It's like,
What was he gonna do? What was he gonna do? But the thing is, right? Roll up on me, motherfucker. See, the thing is, and that. So when we get to, so I told Angela she does our social media. So we're gonna start a segment, right? And you remember the old bracelet they used to serve, like WWJD?
Right.
Like what would you? So we just gonna change the letter J to a K, and what would Kenyon do? Right. Right. So see, people do that to people, right? Like people do that to people where they know what the response is gonna be, right? If he thought that Stephen was gonna be on bullshit in the moment, ain't no way he would have did that in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he thought there was a slight chance that this shit could go left, right? They're not gonna put themselves in that situation. Trust. You approach me.
Yeah, LeBron knew he wasn't gonna do that.
That it's gonna be way worse than what you listen. It started out as you, the motherfucker, like, and then take me out in cuffs. Cool. You bought this ass whooping upon yourself in public because you thought that was gonna be the narrative. It's not gonna be the fucking narrative. They do that shit to people who they think and they know they can get away with it in public.
Steven,
He's not. That's him. That's why I said, what would Kenyon do?
a little trip though, just
Good
no accident.
And I tell you, listen, the Lord don't put me in them kind of situations because I'm gonna fail tremendously.
What's LeBron wrong?
I'm gonna fail at that.
You're gonna have to try a little harder.
Serious question for you, Stephen A.
That's what he wants to say.
I know y'all don't fucking listen to shit I do anyway, but I'm a movie star now. Serious question for you. If LeBron would have came up to you, and then no, we good. We got bags coming. We got bags coming. We buy bags. But serious question for you. Now you're my dog. We got bags coming together. If LeBron would have came up to you and said, let's talk after the game,
I'd have waited.
would you have brought Larry David with you though?
No.
Okay. I'm bringing Larry David. What you gonna do now, bro?
I just met him.
I got Larry David right here.
But seriously, it's like yo,
narrate.
like listen. When you got people like they got the podcast, they got the shows, and all of this competition going on. Most people in my position don't do a lot of interviews. You can't find them. So why do you find me? Because I feel I owe it. I've interviewed you before. I've interviewed you before. Yo, I'm talking about people. Why am I gonna write? What license do I have to? If you had something to say, you said, Stephen A, you free today? Man, I gotta rap to you about this LeBron shit. It's a scheduling issue if I don't show up. I'm not running. Because, yo, Stephen A, I think that's the fucked up shit you did. Okay, let me tell you what happened. Now, if you still think I'm fucked up after I give you my version, I'm good with it. But the point is that to me, when some of these players do shit, it's like everybody just taking as gold. I'm like, really? I'm like, they don't lie. They don't lie. They don't bitch up sometimes. They don't come up with narratives to make you look bad to cover themselves. Oh, they just paragons of virtue. Come on, y'all. We know better than this. And I'm going like, yo, and I'm not saying any of, you got cats. I had my man Cameron interview me. He was like this, do players talk to you? Oh, so, and that's my man. He's like this. I'm just asking. I said, people see 4 or 5 players getting on me and they think the other 440 plus don't talk to me. So you think I have information by accident? I said, do you know? I've been around. It's GMs, it's presidents, it's player personnel.
Yeah, like a lot of people probably message Stephen A and talking to him about whatever they want to talk to, right? But about so it's not just the most popular people getting in touch with him trying to complain. So he's a public figure. Like I respect Stephen A because he does show up. Like he's the only kind of interviewer podcast. Well, he's not a podcaster, but he does have a podcast that he does. But he's mainly known for being a public figure and critiquing sports and art and athletes. And yeah, he shows up. Like he's on Gilbert Arenas podcast. He's definitely talked about all these players before. So yeah, like a lot of these guys don't do that. Like Skip Bayless never would do that. Like he wasn't that guy. So yeah, it's interesting. But let's let him keep going.
Directors, it's scouts, it's evaluators, it's owners. I remember one time, KD, one of the many times he talking shit, was sitting up there talking about, well, you know what? Fuck he know. Who the fuck he talk to? He in Brooklyn. Fuck he know about Golden State. What the hell he know about what's going on? He turned around, he did a double take. Because that night I was sitting with the owner. Another night it was a GM for another team. Another night it was one of the GMs, assistant GMs. It's like, you don't know who I know. There isn't a team in the league that I can't get information from. And trust me, it might take a day, it might take an hour, it might take a month. But I'm going to get it if I want it. If I want it. Because when you've been around that long, they feed it to you. As this show continues to grow, remember I said this to y'all. All you motherfuckers got phones. You get text messages. Watch as you get 1 million and 2 million, because y'all going to be around, because y'all doing a hell of a job. We're trying. Why the hell I'm here. Thank you. Here's the bottom line. Thank you. Remember this. You're going to get to a point where your head going to be down a lot. Because they're going to be texting you about shit all the time. Because when you grow and you got a voice that resonates, they're going to start feeding you information. I'm at a point now, I don't have to go to a game. I don't have to talk to anybody. Do you understand that there's nothing in my contract that says I have to talk to you?
Yeah, like he's a top dog when it comes to this.
And I would understand
there's nothing in my, I get paid when they get ridiculous. I'm like, I don't get paid to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. I don't have to look at you.
Man.
But Rashad, I still go to the games. Yeah. I still make sure they have access to me. I haven't changed my number in 23 years for the sole express purpose of making sure you can find. And we both know I got an excuse to change my number. Because when you make a little paper, everybody wants to. Listen, I got it damn right. You know what I'm saying? You know that shit.
Especially now.
And I still can't change, and I don't change my number for the sole express purpose. Yeah. I'm not hard to find.
I had the same. I'm running to people. Hey man, let me get your number, and I give it to them. They be like, "Oh, I already got. Yeah, my number ain't changing. Yeah,
that's right.
I don't change number. I'm not one of them guys."
Yeah, well, like that's the video in a nutshell. So Let me know what you guys think. I personally think they all have valid points. I do think LeBron was valid for pulling up on Stephen A, but he could have went about it better, especially during the third quarter of a game. Like I don't know, it feels like why didn't he just wait? Like been like, yo, Stephen A, let me holler at you after, right? But he was just hot. He just got caught up in emotions, probably, right? That's how it is. He's human. But definitely think he should have went about it different. And they got points about Bronny getting into the league and LeBron kind of forcing it. So it's like there's a lot of valid points on each side. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, comment, share, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos. Thank you again for your time. Peace.